Hi guys! Okay, well I'm back. I haven't updated my YouTube in about a year I think, so it's been a long time. There's a lot of reasons, just like there's no like inspiration or motivation for me, and just like everything was just really crap and I just didn't like have any reason to make videos really. But everything's sort of like, well, there's been a lot, like I'd say like 95% of you watching this already know everything that's going on because you're probably watching this, you know, because you've been linked through Tumblr or Instagram or Facebook or wherever you might follow me. But for anyone who is like strictly from YouTube who's seen this pop up, there's been a lot of changes in the past year. So the first big change was I actually got a job back in September. It's like my first ever real job, I suppose. So like that was a really big change, especially because like it's in a call centre, which, you know, boring, but you know, pays well enough. So, but I don't really talk about it because it's kind of stupid. It's like, you know, a fashion trend these days, but I do get quite bad anxiety, and like especially kind of in the social aspect, and especially phones. I don't like phones. I won't even phone for pizza. Like the other night I was at my mum's house and we wanted to order pizza. And we sat and argued for about half an hour because I was like, no, I'm not calling them. She didn't want to call me either, so that just went on because I was like, no, I refuse to phone. I hate phoning people. So I ended up working in a call centre, which you can imagine for the first while was all sorts of fun. I was coming home to my boyfriend every night, like in absolute tears, just horrified by it all, just completely traumatised by this massive change. I settled in eventually, and it was going okay for a while and stuff. I was like settled in and stuff, and you know, I could sit, and it was all inbound calls. People just call through, and I'd, you know, either set them up an appointment or help them or pass them through to someone else. And like in between times I'd just sit on Tumblr and stuff, so like it was quite relaxed. But then sort of at the start of this year, everything just got turned upside down. They're like, oh, by the way, there's these targets that we never told you about and you're not hitting them, so, you know, if you don't fix this, we're taking away your hours and you might get fired. And I was like, well, maybe if someone had have told me that you know, there's these things I was meant to be hitting, because I was never aware of it. But so I was like already struggling to try to hit those, and it was kind of going okay. And then they decided that instead of being on inbound where I was comfortable, they're going to stick me on outbound. So instead of just, you know, helping people who need my help, I'm phoning up people and bothering them, which causes me all sorts of stress. Like after every phone call, I'm sitting there like this, like rocking back and forth at my desk because it just, no. Especially because like it's all, but like basically like it's I don't know if I'd be allowed to say who I work for. I can't imagine why not. I won't say the exact company, but it's like boilers and gas and things like that. And so basically at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning, I'm phoning up grumpy English people trying to get them to buy a boiler, and they don't want to buy a boiler, so I get some like really, really unpleasant people. Funnily enough, it's always the foreign people who are nice. The, like, you know, the English people are all really nasty, but I'll get like, you know, foreign people, either like Middle Eastern or Chinese, and they're always so much more pleasant, and just, you know, even if they don't want a boiler, they'll be nice to you. So I kind of prefer getting people like on the phone who are like from somewhere else, because they're usually not as mean. But yeah, so there's that big job and all that and stuff, and also they like just there a couple of weeks ago they blocked all the internet, so there's no more Tumblr, no more anything. So you know, you're literally just sitting there constantly just being bombarded. So I don't know, I'm looking for other things at the minute because it's changed. Like I was okay for a while and then they turned everything upside down. I don't like change. So yeah, that's enough of that. I've been like rambling on about that for ages. Another thing is, where the fuck am I? It's not the attic, it's not the crappy bedroom. Basically, at the start of January there, I think it was the 9th of January, I got a letter through from our estate agent people, because we rent, and you know, so like, you know, big old letter, but basically what it said was, you have a month, get the fuck out. So we were given a month to try to find a new place, to try to, you know, like it was ridiculous, because, you know, there was no way of getting enough money for like they wanted like the last month's rent, so they needed that. Then we also obviously needed the first month's rent for the new place and the security deposit for the new place. Other like, you know, costs of actually moving. The new place we moved into was unfurnished, so there was a big scramble to try to get furniture, and we actually had to try to find a place in that small amount of time. So they only gave us a month to do all this and be out. Like it wasn't like, you know, by the next month you have to start moving. It was like 9th of January we got the letter, 9th of February we were expected to already be moved out, and it was ridiculous. And like, I think the only thing that kept me sane through it was like, I was at home alone when I got the letter. It was my day off and Jake was at work, and I got this letter and I was freaking out. I couldn't get in contact with anyone. Like I tried to phone my mum, and I can't remember what she was doing, but she wasn't able to get to the phone, so there was no one there. And then there was Jake, and he was at work, and like I thought everyone else was gonna be freaked out as me, and I was just like panicking so badly. But I eventually like got through to my dad on the phone and stuff, and he was like, "Do you know what, it'll be fine, we'll get you somewhere else, it'll be okay." And then Jake got home and he's like, "Do you know what, good," because like the old house was horrible. It was a really, really horrible place to be. It wasn't enjoyable at all. It was like really dark, and like by the time it's just as well we ended up having to move, because in the last like week or so before we moved out, we got really, really heavy rain, and the kitchen roof was about to fall through. Like we've been in this house for a while now, and I would not be surprised if the roof has already fallen through in there. Like it was all sinking, the kitchen was soaked, it had gone all mouldy and stuff, just it all happened really quickly and it was horrible. So yeah, they can deal with that now. They kicked us out, that's their problem. But yeah, so that, it was because they were selling the house, by the way. If you're wondering why we had to leave, they decided they were going to sell the house, so we had to leave. Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, so we ended up moving to this really lovely house. It's so much nicer. It's a lot bigger for one. It's 3 stories and it has 3 bedrooms and stuff. So that's nice. So like this is my little room. I'm going to use that, you know, like this little sort of mini studio, and just like as a sort of spare room, because like as you know with me, I like, you know, dark, gothy, elegant things, but then I also like pink, girly, Hello Kitty type things. So basically our main bedroom, me and Jake's bedroom, is going to be like a big royal gothic like room. We got like this super king size bed, which is like 6'6" by 6 foot, and it has this big black quilted headboard, and it's beautiful. So whenever we get like my sort of decorate a bit better, that's going to be like all black damask and, you know, dark and gothy and elegant, and then up here is just going to be like bubblegum pink, Hello Kitty and Monster High and stuff everywhere. So yeah, I get to have 2 rooms so that I can like satisfy both of my decorating urges. And then the other spare bedroom is Jake's studio, because, you know, he does his music and stuff. So yeah, we each have like our own sort of little room to, you know, use for our creative things and all that. And then like, you know, I'm going to put like a little sort of a smallish beddy sofa type thing in here. So it means then if people want to come stay over, there'll be a spare room as well. So it actually all works out really well. But yeah, so it's like this really nice big house. It has like sort of 2 living rooms. So like, you know, we have our main living room, and then that means all the snakes and the rats can go in the other little bit and stuff, and they all fit in quite nicely, and it's like, you know, they're out of the way and we can close the doors, so we don't have to worry about, like, before we couldn't really light scented candles or incense or anything because I was too worried of, you know, like the scents from that, especially reptiles. Reptiles and insects tend to be really, really sensitive to that sort of thing. Like we had a praying mantis when I lived with my mum, and she accidentally killed it, and like she is still so guilty over that. Like she will still cry about that, and that was years ago, because she didn't know that you weren't, like, she had a plug-in air freshener, just like a little plug-in thing that, like, you know, gradually releases scent, and no one ever told her that, you know, that would affect it, and the poor wee thing died and stuff, and she phoned me up howling, you know, saying she was a murderer basically. So that was sad. So yeah, I've always been like really like worried about lighting that sort of thing with the pets. And in the old house, you know, they were just in the living room with us, and it was all really cramped and crowded, and it was all dark and horrible. But now they have their own sort of little room, so we can, you know, have things like that without worrying. So yeah, there's that, and like we have a really nice big bright bathroom, and like it has a bath and a shower cubicle instead of like an awkward shower head over the bath, which just soaks the whole room, that I hated. And the whole, like, basically when we were in the old house, I would pretty much just take as many showers as I could at the gym. Like I'd just go to the gym as often as possible and take my showers there, because I hated being in the bathroom the whole place. It was so dark and gross and horrible and ugh. But here we have this lovely big bright bathroom and stuff, so I love getting all like pampered in there and stuff, and I have my baths with all my lush stuff. So yeah, everything's going a lot better in this house. It's still like a bit kind of upside down. There's still boxes full of stuff that don't have a place to be, and you know, obviously it needs decorated and stuff. We haven't really got around to that yet. It'll probably be a while because we're still recovering from the move. Oh, that's another thing I might say. Like, I had to give like the biggest thank you ever to like people who follow me on Tumblr and Facebook, because if it weren't for them, we would pretty much be homeless. I set up like a GoFundMe just to see, you know, if anyone was able to help a little bit, because like, you know, we didn't have an option. Like, we weren't even getting our paychecks, you know, from our job until like 5 days before we're expected to leave, and also we need to pay like deposits and stuff, so that's crazy. So I set up a GoFundMe, and people were absolutely amazing. Like, I can't believe how much, like, you know, people wanted to help, and like a few people, like the amount of money they put in, like I feel so guilty because like, oh, like, and you know, if there's any way I can never pay people back, I'll, you know, I definitely want to. But so that was just amazing to, you know, have so much support, especially because I was so stressed. It was like, sorry, I'm gonna cry. It was just so lovely that so many people supported me so heavily through that and stuff and helped. Like if it weren't for that, like again, I probably would have had some sort of nervous breakdown. So yeah, big thank you to everyone who helped with that. Look, see, I am such a pussy, I'll cry over anything. So yeah, there's that. So those are like the two really big main changes. But yeah, so I don't know, I'm kind of lost now. Yeah, I've definitely been planning on getting back into YouTube a lot more. Like I've got, like, you know, just in the past while I've just suddenly got, you know, the urge to do it again. And I actually just, like, at the minute I'm using like these big softbox lights. I just got like a whole big studio kit. It's going to take a while to learn how to use it all. We sat last night setting up these. And they're all, you know, for photography as well. Like I have a little trigger thing to attach my camera so they flash as well. But there's no batteries in the thing, so I need to get batteries and figure out how to do that. And I got like a backdrop and stuff. So yeah, so I'm gonna have like a sort of like little mini studio thing. Like I'll still need, you know, actual studios to do bigger shoots, but like for more sort of like waist up things and stuff, it'll be really handy. And for videos as well, now I have like proper lighting and stuff. Because that's another thing, I didn't want to make videos before because in the old house, like, but like plus I've got a new camera, but in the old house I had like an old shitty camera that wasn't very good quality, and the lighting in that house was atrocious. There was like no natural light, it was all really dark and crap, and like we couldn't even open the blinds or anything because the house was like right on the street, and we lived in this horrible street with like loads of chavs, and there was all these kids outside our house, and like if you left the blinds open you'd have all these really seedy chavs staring in, you know, probably looking to see what they can break in and steal, and then all kids would hang outside the house and peer in, so we had to keep the blinds closed all the time, so it was miserable. But this street they're like, no kids, there's none. Sorry, camera died. Well, it didn't die, the card got full, couldn't figure out why, but bunch of things from a wedding on there. Not important. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, no, what was I saying? Something about lights and kids. Yeah, the old house, it's really dark. There's no kids on the street is what I was saying, and yeah, the old house was just really dark, and then the natural light was like really low, and it was that really orangey, gross, like, I don't know, just like that really orangey indoor light, and it was like just really horrible. And it like made all the videos just go like really grainy, and then I'd be like, I'd look sick because that's literally just like everything in the video was just yellow. And then even if I tried to put like onto, see, I can control the lighting better on After Effects, but I can't use After Effects because for one, my computer, like I have a really crap laptop, my computers can't handle it. Like even tweaking the lighting slightly will pretty much make my whole computer like be ready to explode. And then I can't save videos from it either. Like I don't know if I'm not doing it right, but for one, they save with no sound, so I'm probably doing something wrong there. It saves with no sound, so there's no point. And for some reason it'll take a video that was like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 gigabytes and literally turn it into 80 gigabytes of video, and I'm like, what the hell? So I can't use that. So at the minute I'm trying to use Sony Vegas to fix lighting. I don't really have as much control on it, and like I don't know how to use it as well, but honestly, like with how bad the lighting was, if I tried to fix it, it would just make it worse and like end up a funny colour. Like I'll be uploading like a Lush haul video that I recorded in the old house, like before we even got that letter or anything, and you'll see what I mean. Like I've tried to fix the lighting in it to make it less yellow, but the video quality is just awful. So that really put me off making videos. They're all grainy and yellow and crap, and the lighting was like right overhead, so you know, you'd have shadows from the eyelashes, you'd have eye bags, and just everything, like, you know, it was like the least flattering light you can possibly be in, basically. It was horrible. And I'd be looking back at the videos just cringing because it was like, eek. But yeah, so I've got these lights now, and I plan on getting like full force back into YouTube. I've been sitting on my laptop and planning out videos. Like I've got a list of some that I want to do, and like I'm, you know, writing down things to do with those and figuring out what I'll need and when I'm going to do them and all that. And as well as that, like of course, like leave any suggestions for videos that you have. Like if there's anything you want to see, you can leave it, you know, YouTube comments or on my Tumblr or Facebook. I'll put my Tumblr and Facebook in the box in case you somehow don't know what those are. Like I said, I think everyone's from Tumblr and Facebook, but I'm sure there must be like at least one person who's watching purely from YouTube. So I'll put those in the box, and like you don't even need an account on Tumblr to leave me a message. It'll just get left as anonymous if you don't have an account, so you can just type in a message and send it anyway. As far as I'm aware, you don't have to sign up, you don't have to log in, you can just put a suggestion in the box and send it. So yeah, if there's anything you want to see, then let me know. Other than that, I don't know really. I think that's it. I've made this video way too long, and I've just kind of like rambled on about my boring crap. I can't imagine anyone cares, but yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way, kind of like an update, you know, the fact that I am back. I'll try to get some more videos recorded over the next while. So that is my update video, and expect to see a lot more of me in the future. And as I said, just leave any suggestions, and I'm done. Done. No more awkward goodbyes. Bye!